I think a lot of us are throwing up our arms saying, hey, what the hell? Why are you doing this with a eCVT hybrid? And this is not what the enthusiasts actually want. The Honda Prelude is back. This is the 2026 model year, brand new car, starting MSRP $42,000. And I think if you're anything like me, you're probably confused, who is this for and why does this exist? Because on paper, it looks kind of like a Civic Type R coupe, but without the Civic Type R engine. The Prelude is powered by a 2-liter naturally aspirated inline-4, making 141 horsepower, 134 pound-feet of torque, with one E-motor for a combined 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque. That's actually the same powertrain as the Civic Hybrid. You have a redline at 6,250, and of course, it's front-wheel drive. Now, the transmission is a direct drive eCVT with what they call S plus shift, simulated shifts. I'm going to tell you how that drives shortly. These cars come with adaptive dampers with the FL5 Type R's dual-axis front suspension, which reduces torque steer, but when you're making so much less power and torque, that's not really that important. We have multi-link in the rear because, of course, this is the Civic platform, and also the Type R's Brembo brakes. Normally, it comes with 19 by 8.5 black alloy wheels, but here we have these Mugen MF10s in 18 by 9.5 with a 45 offset. That's actually the same fitment as the FL5 Civic. We, of course, have electric power steering, but this has variable ratio. And we get the Honda Sensing Suite as standard. That includes the road departure mitigation, adaptive cruise, lane keep assist, collision mitigation, braking, and blind spot monitoring. 46 mpg city, 41 highway, and 44 mpg combined. The car weighs 3,260 pounds. Now, the Civic is not too far from that. It's around 80 pounds lighter because it doesn't have a hybrid system with the heavy battery. And other than the wheels, we have Silver's coilovers. I think it's sitting real nice, lowered, and with these wheels, this car looks super sharp. And shout out to PLM, Private Label Manufacturing. This is actually their car, and they make aftermarket parts out here in NorCal.
Part of the backlash around the new Prelude comes from a mismatch in memory. So enthusiasts remember the Prelude as a lightweight, manual, affordable, fun car, but Honda remembers it very differently as a mostly automatic, slightly upscale coupe bought by older buyers who wanted something sportier than a Civic, but more comfortable than a true sports car. And this car only makes sense once you understand that disconnect.
I gotta say, the car looks super sharp. I'm not the biggest fan of the rear. I don't think the rear design is quite as cohesive and as timeless as some other aspects of the car, but I think the side profile, the front 3/4, the car looks the piece, and it's gonna age quite nicely, I think. Of course, we have the same colors. This is actually the same blue from the Civic Type R. And I like these nice little touches, the blue vertical line there in the back and also on the front. Wheelbase is actually 107.7 inches, exact same as the FL5 Civic Type R and the DE5 Integra. And of course, the interior is also going to be very reminiscent because this is ultimately the same platform. One difference you'll notice is that we have this S Plus button. So getting into the sport drive mode, we're going to press on S Plus, and you can hear the engine come alive. It's going to die shortly because of the hybrid. We can't force it to stay on. But this will now use the eCVT to simulate gear shifts. We have our paddle shifters right here. Drive just like that. And we are off. Now, a lot of these are actually piped in noises. We're going to leave it like that for now. Second, third, again, these are all fake shifts. Okay, auto upshifting there, despite me trying to keep it. There's no real manual mode. You just put an S Plus and it will decide whether it wants to listen to you or do some auto upshifting.
Despite the internet reaction, this isn't a traditional CVT, it's an eCVT, and most of the time the wheels are driven by electric motors. The engine primarily acts as a generator and only mechanically connects at higher speeds when it's more efficient to do so. And that's why it feels smooth and EV-like, and why the usual CVT criticism doesn't really apply here.
It will auto upshift like that from third to fourth, because again, these aren't real gears, these are simulated gears. But I gotta say, it's actually, bro, the double yellow, come on. It's actually quite convincing. The gear shifts are relatively Actually quite quick.
The S mode isn't about pretending the car has gears, it's about giving the driver feedback in a system that otherwise has very little mechanical sensation. The simulated shifts act as a signal, cues that something has changed, helping your brain map speed, load, and intent, even though there isn't a physical transmission underneath in the traditional sense.
And you know, whenever companies come out with these special names, like, ooh, direct shift, part of you thinks, okay, this is gonna be just a marketing exercise, but a little underdamped there, excess motion after the bump. But here, like, it actually is pretty impressive. Down into the simulated first, give you a pull. Still have that nice brake pedal feel, just like in the Civic Type R. Although here we're gonna have a little bit of regen as well.
It's also worth noting that Honda didn't phone this in from a dynamic perspective. Again, remember, this car gets the Type R dual-axis front suspension, adaptive dampers, and those big Brembo brakes. And that tells you that Honda cares about the chassis behavior, even if outright performance wasn't the goal.
Now, I would love to drive this and a Civic Type R back-to-back, because I would imagine, you know, the Civic Type R has roughly a 62-38 front-to-rear weight distribution. I would imagine that the Prelude, because it's hybrid and you have the battery pack in the rear, that it would have a more favorable weight distribution and, you know, a better polar moment of inertia. But just driving it right now in this setting, I can't actually tell you. Driving it back to back, stay tuned for that. We'll probably do a comparison. And with these coilovers, we have a really nice flat ride. But here's the question. Why did Honda make this, and who is this for, right? So they discontinued the Civic Coupe, I believe, in 2020. So you can kind of consider this just to be a Civic Coupe, if you will.
This is very much a momentum car. You can drive it flat out on a back road and you won't overwhelm the front tires, and that's where it actually makes a lot of sense. The downside is that it does hide mistakes, which can make it fun, but not necessarily a good teaching tool.
Yeah, it handles these tighter sections just like the Type R would, just with substantially less power. So, essentially, this is bringing back the nameplate, the Prelude. We all love the Prelude, and I think this looks super sharp. They knocked it out of the park with regards to styling, in my opinion, except I just don't love the rear. I think that wasn't quite fully cohesive with the rest of the design language. But here's what I think. I think a lot of us are throwing up our arms saying, hey, what the hell, why are you doing this with a eCVT hybrid, and this is not what the enthusiasts actually want, and people are going to say, oh, now Honda's going to see no one buys this, they're going to axe the car. It's a very pessimistic take. And what I would say is that the car companies, they have to think long-term, obviously. So when the car first comes out, they're not going to give you the hottest, spiciest, best flavor of the car. What they want to do is get you excited by the nameplate, by the styling, by the fact that it's a new car, right? It's essentially a Civic Type R coupe that has a downgraded powertrain. Better MPG if you care about that. And what I anticipate happening in future years is they are going to release some hotter versions of this. Will they have a super handling all-wheel drive, the SH all-wheel drive? Who knows, maybe. Will they get rid of the hybrid and have a version that is the turbo 4-cylinder from the Civic Type R? Possibly.
And even though Honda currently denies that they're going to put a more powerful engine in the Prelude, they're of course not incentivized to be transparent about their real plans.
So Honda, they don't want to blow their load too soon. Part of the crudeness, they want to give you something that is exciting now, and then in the next year or two or three, give you some hotter, spicier flavors of the Honda Prelude. That's what I anticipate happening, because why wouldn't they? It's the same platform underneath. This car is essentially a Civic Type R, just without the proper powertrain. It has the hybrid powertrain, which enthusiasts don't really care about it. And yes, apparently the elderly, or let's just say elderly, the older populations in Japan are buying these and they're enjoying these cars because, hey, it's the Prelude from the 90s. Let's bring it back. Awesome nameplate, good vibes. One more pull. But you see that? It doesn't really pull the way you want a sports car to pull. And this is not actually a sports car because Honda calls this a GT if you go on their website, at least right now. So is it comfortable? Well, with these coilovers, it's a lot firmer than stock. But as a GT, as a car that looks the piece, I think that makes sense for now, and it makes sense why it's popular with a certain demographic. But for younger people in America that want something a little bit sportier, a little bit spicier, I think we just have to wait. And I think it'll come.
Where this car works depends heavily on context. On a twisty road, it feels playful, somewhat engaging, if albeit underpowered. On the highway, it's refined, but still a noisy two-door Civic hybrid. And on track, it's just obviously the wrong tool. Your environment matters more than just the spec sheet.
Actually, I wonder if someone's just going to swap in a Type R engine, because I bet it would slot right in. Who knows, with the whole hybrid stuff, what you would need to change. Remove the battery from the back, would that cause any issues? I don't know, but this is fundamentally Civic Type R with a nerfed powertrain. And I think that's by design, because just like Toyota gave us the Supra with only an automatic and gave the manual a few years later, Honda wants to keep the hype for this new car. I say new like this because, again, it's just a Civic underneath the skin. And I think that's probably a smart business decision. And even if us car enthusiasts with blue balls are saying, come on, Honda, just give us the proper engine. Honda, I don't know what they're actually saying, but they're probably saying, don't worry, it's coming. My friends, let me know what you think of the Honda Prelude. Do you think that Honda is going to release a version that has the Type R engine, or at least something a little bit sportier than this hybrid with the eCVT?
Now, the elephant in the room, at $42,000, the price is the hardest part to justify. And it feels like Honda went into a time machine, because so many things are similar to the last Prelude from the early 2000s. You have a price when adjusted for inflation was right around $40,000 to $44,000. This is smack dab in the middle. That last car was also 200 horsepower and also weighed very close, maybe just around 200 pounds lighter than this gen. But in the past 2+ decades, cars have moved forward, and we expect more from our cars at this price point. So if you want a manual, high-revving sports car, this obviously isn't it. If you want a practical, efficient daily, honestly, a Civic hybrid makes more sense. But if you want a niche, stylish hybrid coupe that prioritizes smoothness and chassis balance over numbers, then this Prelude finally clicks, as long as you let go of what that name used to mean. The problem with the new Prelude isn't that it's bad, it's that most people are grading it against a car that Honda was never trying to build in the first place.
Let me know with a comment down below. Much love, my friends, and I'll see you all in that next one.